just turned 17. First month of running ads did like a 15K month. That's when I was like, had the realization of this is actually real. Do it or watch it be done. I had to do brain scans. This is gonna get clipped.
Today we're back with another belting episode. We got HK vibing. You know, we've recently become friends with you, haven't we, mate?
Yeah.
And you know, we'll just jump straight into this. I just want to say firstly, thank you for coming on the podcast.
No worries,
you know, appreciate it. It's gonna be. I know it's gonna be a banger. I can already tell. Yeah, man, and fucking, you're the GOAT, lad. But anyway, you know, I think first just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing at the moment, how old you are, and you know, stuff like that.
So, my name's Harvey. I've been in the game for not that long, to be fair. I've only been really doing sort of e-com, dropshipping. Recently, obviously, made a Discord. Only for about a year and a half, really. How it first started was, I'm 19 now. First started when I turned 17, and it was like prime lockdown, and I was like bored out my brains. I was like, I don't want to be sat here doing fucking sixth form A-level work, just absolutely pulling my hair out. I was like, I need to put my sort of mind to something that's actually sort of useful. And I've always wanted to make a clothing brand, you know, like the likes of Reese Wabara and stuff like that. Just seeing them always inspired me. Like what he's done with MDV is sick. So I was just like, oh, you know what? I've always been quite creative. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna give a clothing brand a go. And it was, I was working on it through lockdown, and then launched. And from launch, it was just sort of like local, you know, like the local area, like friends and stuff. Actually did surprisingly well for considering it was just people in my area.
You basically pushing it on your own socials.
Yeah, basically just like pushing it to everyone, being like, oh, like what do you guys think of these designs, stuff like that. Just sort of to get the capital from the get-go, because I always grew up like I've always grown up being a hard worker and a grafter. Like like from 14, 15, I was working with my dad every single day, being a labourer, working for, you know, 30, 40 pound a day, and working in my summer holidays when, you know, not to say, oh, 13, 14-year-olds, you shouldn't be out enjoying yourself, obviously, but I was just like, I was just sort of driven by money, making money and stuff like that. So I was like, when people are out, like, going down rivers and stuff like that, I was, you know, working in fucking, like, work sites, like, lifting bricks, like, manual labour and stuff like that, and that was where I sort of started to learn the true, like, at 13, 14, learn the sort of true meaning of money and like the value of you know, you actually have to work for things and stuff like that. And so yeah, I went from there and saved up a little bit of money from working there, and was like, okay, I'm gonna make a clothing brand. And I sort of started off with like the intention of, I'm only gonna put in what I make back. So I really started the clothing brand with no money, and sort of landed a sort of a deal with a local supplier in my area. People always like, oh, don't know where to get suppliers from. Bro, I literally walked into I literally walked straight in, was like, can you provide me clothes? And it's like, sometimes it can be just as simple as that. You don't need to go on the internet and try find some fucking turkey factory or something like that. Don't overcomplicate it, just simple. And because he was from my area, he understood me, and I was like, can you, like, it's a bit cheeky, but can you not do an MOQ? Like, if I get an order, can you then do it? And he was like, yeah, that's sweet, bro. So that saved me a lot of upfront money.
Yeah. It's a bit like print on demand and stuff
pretty
like that.
Pretty much like a print on demand, but without the label. It was just like a guy that was just pretty much helping me out. Did well for a few months, and then I sort of started doing like, I was trying to think of ways of how to scale without paying for ads. Yeah. So I was DMing loads and loads of people like, yo, so this is what I would do. I would go onto competitors on their Instagrams. This is a little hack as well. I was going on if you don't have money to invest in ads, this is cheeky, but I was going on competitors' Instagrams, and where they were running ads, I would find their ad and I would go into the likes. So the people that they're targeting are people that were interested in clothing and stuff 100%. Like that. I was DMing all of them, being like, yo, would you be interested in buying from the band if I gave you a discount code? And it surprisingly done mad. Yeah. And I was just DMing, bro. I was sat there like at my desk DMing like fucking 300, 400 people a day. And it was just like, I was going through like band, like obviously like, you know, like limits and stuff like that. And I was just smashing it out, because I was like, I need to make this work. Like there's no other alternative, and I can't just keep relying on people in my area to buy. Yeah. So then what I was doing is building up the data on the Pixel. I had a Pixel installed.
And did you know about like Pixel and stuff like that? Like,
bro, no. So this is a thing as well. I did like up to like 10k in sales without even having a pixel installed because I was that much of a noob that I didn't even know what a pixel was. And I started talking to people online and stuff like that, and they were like, have you got your pixel installed? I was like, what's that? And they were like, what are you doing? So then I added the pixel, kept going, and then from there I ran my first ad in about October, November time. First ad I ran was on like stupid because I had the data already. I had like 10 ROAS or something like that. The return on spend was crazy, and I was like, holy shit, like there's something here. And
how old was you at this point?
Just turned 17.
Okay.
So I was 17 and then did first month of running ads, did like a 15k month in sales. But the margins were pretty good anyway because I was working with this guy that was local that was helping me.
Literally.
You know, he was sorting me out, and then come to November, more towards Christmas time, I did like 20k sales and then 30, and then I was telling you boys yesterday about obviously then I had that 4-year relationship, broke up, and I was just like I was just like fueled to go. The next month, the January, I made like the most money I ever made before. It was like 60k a month, and I was 17 at the time. And I was just like, I was on fire, on top of the world. And then this is when the sort of first setback in sort of the spanner in the works, in essence, where I got banned off of Facebook for stupid reasons, because they always just fucking ban people for the fun of it. Where it was like one of the ads that I was running, there was like a female in the creative that was showing too much skin or something, but they banned my whole, there was creatives that were just kept getting, and then they just fully banned my account. And I was sat there in a physics lesson, on an online lesson, sat there like, oh shit, like what am I going to do now?
Like back to school, best pay attention now.
Yeah. And I was I was just sat not paying attention, just thinking I was sort of on top of the world.
Yeah.
And that was my only source of money. So I was like, right, you know what? Instead of being a little bitch and being like, oh, what do I do now? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep pushing, and just, even if it was not ecom, even if it was, just revolved around Shopify, so dropshipping and stuff like that. So this is when an app called House Party, I think it's called House Party,
I remember
came out.
This
is where I met like all of my close my boys now. And they were just telling me about dropshipping, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to get into it.
So was you still running the brand at this time?
No, so I was like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to cut ties. Just kill it, just completely kill it.
Why did you think to cut ties with it? Was it like dying out?
I was at a point where I was still so fresh in the game that it's like, bro, I was like 3 months into anything. Like, I'd never done anything before. And I was like, well, I've got banned off ads. What do I do now? Like,
I feel like
I felt like I was like, there's no other alternative now.
Yeah. Whoever's ran ads, they probably know that feeling of getting their ad account banned.
Yeah, exactly.
It hits you hard.
And you lose all your data on your pixel. It's like your pixel's ruined, and you have to farm data again.
It's basically starting from the beginning.
Yeah, it literally is.
So
hard.
I was just like, okay, right, I'm gonna get into dropshipping now, because I've met these boys. They're all in the UK. We all became friends, right? I meet one of my close friends now, Franco. He's killing it in the ecom game. Right, he was 17, moved into a Canary Wharf, like fucking crazy, and that's when I was like, had the realization of like, this is actually real, because I feel like when you're sort of stuck in the sixth form ways, and I came from a small town where everyone sort of has backward mindsets towards this type of stuff, and everything's really foreign. That this type of stuff just isn't the norm, and it's like sort of shunned upon. It's like I was doing the clothing brand, and people are like, "What are you doing, lad? Like, why are you trying to do that?" And it's like, when I met this group, and I always say to people, surrounding yourself by people that are like-minded and people that actually want to succeed is probably one of the best things that you can do, because the same way as creating creating a Discord and a community and stuff like that, it's another sort of escape for people to go into that Discord and have like-minded people
100%.
that think the same as you, as opposed to people that, don't get me wrong, if that's how they want to live their life, then that's how they want to live their life. But people that, don't really have any other ambitions outside of, going to the pub every single night, and that's their life. And I'm not sitting here and being like, fuck that. For me personally, I want to have more sort of meaning to and I want to achieve things. I want to be known for
ambitions,
stuff. Ambitions, exactly. So I was just like, this is sick. I've now got a group of people that are so like-minded, and I sort of like cut myself off from everyone else in my local town, and I was sort of just online surrounding myself with these boys. And then the day he moved in, we all went there.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I'm not taking the A-level route again. So I was like, met my boy, my best mate, Milo, ironically. He's now my flatmate. So we met in sort of February time. We were coming back from London, and I was like, oh, like I need to get into dropshipping, bro. Like, can you sort of show me the ropes and stuff? And he was like, yeah, of course, bro. And what happened was, we go home, and he was like, bro, like look at this, like TikTok, like this TikTok organic stuff. These guys aren't running ads.
How long ago is this, sorry?
How long ago? This was last year, March. So this was like fresh.
Yeah,
this was fresh. Sort of, yeah, it's a while ago, but it is fresh. Do you know what I mean?
It's still fresh right now.
That's my first store. And he was like, yeah, there's this TikTok organic thing. So there was this product where it's like this candy gun, you shoot it and a lollipop comes out. There was this guy on Hollywood Boulevard. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's a goat in the e-com game. He was going on these Hollywood Boulevard, and he was going up to girls shooting the lollipop. And it was just going viral because these, attractive girls were grabbing the lollipop out of their mouths, and it was doing like 10 million views. And it was insane. Like they were getting sales without having to pay for ads and cost per acquisitions. And that's why I love the organic game, because anyone can literally do, like anyone. And I know it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, anyone can do it, because you actually have to put in time and dedication and sort of become obsessed with your work and your craft. But it's like anyone can really start it. Like there's people that I know that, obviously shameless plug, that are in my Discord that are starting with no knowledge, and it's just they're sort of getting into the works. Instead of having to pay like 4K that people don't have on ads to test, it's like they can pay £100 to test a product through TikTok organic, and a video will go viral. And bro, like my first video, and I'll get onto it, we then went onto TikTok, and we were like, okay, we found a product, spent 2 weeks finding it, let's just see where it goes. And it's a crazy story. I was waking up, we posted the video, and I was waking up to go to do my exams. And I was actually late for that exam because my mind was fucking blown. And I was like, oh my God.
As it should be.
So we posted a video, woke up overnight. And I know, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like an overnight success thing. It's like, don't go away from this and think you're just going to do it overnight. We had previous knowledge of finding 100%. Products and stuff, but woke up to 2 million views on the product, on the video. We had 3K in sales by 8 a.m. as I was ready to go to school. And I just messaged my business partner who I was doing it with, Milo. And I was like, bro, this is fucked. Like, this is like a gold mine right here. We finished that day. It was a Thursday. And I remember I was showing my dad the sales, and he was just in disbelief. He was like, is this real? Like, he was like, fucking hell. Like, just took back. And we ended the day on 15K in sales in a single day. And then over the...
What was the margins on this?
The margins... Good thing you asked that, because last time I didn't mention the margins on the other podcast, and all the TikToks were like, oh yeah, but that's fucking 10%. Fucking doing my head in. And the margins are like... The margins on that was about 60-65%, because we're not paying for ads, we're not paying for influencers, we're not. It was all, the only thing we're paying for is the cost of the product. So it was like, we did that, and then over the course of 3-4 days, we did like 50-60K in sales, and that was when my mind was just blown. And then from then I was like, I'm not committing to A levels anymore. I'm committing fully to this. Like I wasn't going into my exams. I wasn't committing to the A levels, but the reason why I did that, and I'm not going to sit here and say for everyone to do that. The reason why I did that is because I had a ruthless mindset where I was like, okay, this has worked. I don't want A levels as a backup plan, because if I have a backup plan, I don't have 100% confidence in my true self to make this work. I was like, okay, and this isn't advice, by the way. I was like, I'm fucking my A levels off, because there's no other way for me to make things work now than to make ecom work. I sort of put myself up against the grain. I was putting all the pressure on me, and it forced me to work harder. It forced me to be completely dedicated to this. And I have a lot of people that are always like, oh, can you go to uni and also do dropshipping? Yeah, you can, but to me, if you're doing that, I feel like you're bitching out a little bit, where it's like you're not having 100% dedication to the craft. And I know a lot of people now are going to be, this is going to get clipped, and people on TikTok are going to be like, oh, that's stupid advice and all that bollocks.
It's fucking worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I've just moved into my second apartment and I just turned 19, and like, I'm not here to say like, oh, do that, but I'm saying in life, you've got to put yourself up against the rough, put the pressure on you, and you can't be comfortable. And if I was comfortable in doing my A-levels, then comfortability, I was telling you guys yesterday when we met, comfortability is a drug, and
100%.
you'll become addicted to comfortability. And people relate to this, when you're sat in your bed and you're sat, watching Netflix or scrolling through TikTok, it's hard to get out of that TikTok, because you're sat comfortable in bed.
100%.
You're hooked in.
You're hooked in and you're comfortable. And the reason why is because you're addicted to being comfortable. No one wants to push themselves out their comfort zone. No one realistically wants to go to the gym 5 days a week and push themselves. Yeah. But that's just, if you want to grow, you're never going to grow in a comfortable situation. You have to push yourself out of your depth and push yourself into the real world and actually face adversity, face the L's, and don't take any L's and don't take them as losses, take them as lessons. And that's just what you have to do if you really want to be successful. You have to you have to put your all into it.
Yeah, you got to push yourself out the boundaries.
Exactly.
Like right now, I spoke to someone like a couple of weeks ago, and he was just like, we was on about like taking cold showers and that. And he was just like, yeah, I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks, and it literally swapped my whole mindset.
Yeah.
So I started doing it now. Like, I hate a fucking cold shower. Yeah. Like, it's nothing fucking
You
worse.
complain about cold
I complain about cold shower.
every day for
I know.
months.
I've not actually told you guys about this, but like, so I'll take a warm shower, and then the last like 30 seconds, I'll just put it like fucking mega cold, and then just like count down, just knowing. But like he said, basically like, it just shows yourself that you can do something that you don't really want to do. Like I fucking hate cold showers, but I just proved to myself that I can do it. Just so that I won't get like it's that exact reason of not being comfortable.
Exactly.
And then once you've done it, you've completed it. Like it's like going to the gym. Like sucks during it, but then after you're like, well, that's fucking good job I did that, and like
you always
feels better.
Like, I'm glad I've done it.
100%.
If you go do a 5 mile run, the first mile you'll be like, yeah, I'm fucking killing it. 3 miles in, you'll be like telling yourself, oh, fuck, I need to stop. I need to quit.
Easier to quit.
It's easier to quit than keep going, and it's like the thing as well. Like you're always gonna have this inner voice telling you like, oh, like give up. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, bro, like this is not worth it. Why are you running extra miles? But it's in those miles where growth is achieved, because those moments where you do not want to go forward is when the real gains are made. And it's like this is something I was saying in my Discord in a call the other day. It was like, bro, there's so many people on this planet, right? And everyone just a massive competition, right? Everyone is competing against each other. So if I'm up at 9 a.m, the person that wakes up at 12 p.m, I'm 3 hours ahead.
Literally.
So it's like, it's the same. It's like everyone that you look up to, okay, you've got to outwork them. And that's sort of like the mindset that I've been telling people as well. It's like in the Discord, it's like, if you guys want to achieve, and get to the point where I'm at, you've got to outwork me. You've got to be doing more than me, and you've got to be, doing better. And it's the same with like me reflecting on you guys. Like I'm like, oh, like I need to outwork these guys because these guys are up here. So it's like always you got to make sure that you're always being competitive in 100%. Nature to achieve, because that's where you're going to achieve the most. And that's why it's good to have friendly competition. Like in our ecom group, we're always, and this is the thing as well. Don't look at someone and go, oh, they're doing well. Like, oh, fuck them. Like, why are they doing well? And
I don't
I'm
think
not.
That's a negative thing.
Always come up with some shitty sort of thing like, oh yeah, like daddy's money or something like that. Yeah. It's like having friendly competition is so good. And 100%. You guys were saying it yesterday, where you guys are like always on each other's back, keeping you in check and keeping you disciplined.
100%.
It's so good to have a real circle where it's not full of fakes and it's people that actually want to do well for you, as opposed to people that would just be like, yeah, you're killing it, bro, like yes man. So it's like, yeah, just it's good to have a good circle where you've got people always telling you like, yeah, you need to be doing this. Like, why are you like, I'll be like to Milo, my flatmate, I'll be like, what you doing, lad? Like, why are you sat in bed? Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
It needs to happen, and we was on about this yesterday, you know. And one thing I've always think is like the richest people in the world, they all say the same thing. It's like, I'm never gonna fucking give up. Like, I will not accept it, and like that's what like betters you than these other people. You know, everybody who's giving up and shit like that, like who's just go like quitting. If you like, you just gotta fucking decide in your head that no matter fucking what, I'm gonna make this fucking shit work, and there is no literal other option. And even if everything does go to shit, I'll just do it all again from the ground. And it's like, if you just need to decide that in your brain. You just need to like decide, like you just need to like take that mental change. And you know, once you do that, that's when you really hit the success. And obviously it takes time and fucking work, and it takes like so much work, but you know, at the end of the day, that like you said, you've got to better yourself than everybody else. You've got to be better than these other people, otherwise how are you gonna get more, how are you gonna earn more money than the other people if you're not better?
I think having a good mindset is half the battle.
100%.
Having that key killer mindset of sink or swim, rather than I'm not going to sit here and, you know, watch, you know, it's a saying that I always say, do it or watch it be done. You either got to go out and get it, or you're just going to watch other people do it. Sink or swim. You're either going to sit there and complain and be like, you know, I'm going to, like, let's say you're stranded. Like, this is a very, you know, a metaphor. Like, if you're stranded in a sea, right? It's like, rather than just sitting there and going, you know, I'm just going to accept the fact that you know what I mean? Actually push yourself. And I know that's a bit of a weird analogy because it's, you know, you're in the sea, blah, blah, blah. But it's like applying it to everyday life. Like, sink or swim, you need to go get it. Don't watch everyone else do it. Put your fucking self out there and go do it yourself. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for, I'm going to do the bare minimum. Settle for being obsessed with your craft. And it's the thing that people always ask me, like, when they join the Discord, they're like, oh, could I do this like 3 hours a day? Like, can I dedicate an hour a day to this and still be like, bro, you've got to be obsessed with it. I never ever think like, oh, how many hours are going to dedicate to this today? I'm more like, I'm so obsessed with this, like every second it's sort of ingrained 100%. In my lifestyle. And it's like, I live and breathe this. It's not a case of like, and that's the reason why the same thing with the 9 to 5. It's like, people think, oh, I've got to go to work. Whereas it's like, where us guys and like a lot of people that do e-commerce, like, oh, I fucking like, I can't wait. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
it's not really like a 9 to 5 though, is it? Because it's like with your Discord as well. Yeah, you know, people can be in there at like, what, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning.
Even 3 in the morning,
so you've still got to be like...
You've always got to be on the ball.
But you've got to be like excited to wake up in the morning.
It becomes like a social media thing though as well. Like, you sit on Instagram just scrolling through, but like with us, we've got Discord. You just sit there like scrolling through, seeing what members are talking about, and then you're in there as well still.
Exactly. And like, one thing I've always said is, and like it comes back down to like the fact of like you wanting to work. If you don't like what you're fucking doing, there is no way you're going to be excited in the morning to get up and work all fucking day as hard as you possibly can to get all this stuff. Exactly. There is no way you're going to do that if you don't like what you're doing. So that's another thing that I think really matters is, you know, you need to love what you're doing. You need to be excited 100%. To fucking wake up in the morning. Otherwise, how the fuck are you going to drag yourself out of the bed thinking, I fucking hate this job. I hate whatever the fuck I'm doing. If you do that, you need to fucking quit. You need to just man the fuck up and change your life. You need to take action.
You've got to love the process.
Yeah, you have. You
literally
have.
You're not going to wake up and you just be like, oh, I love it today. And
no.
Like the rest of the time,
if you're hating it for a long time, obviously you might have like one bad day where you're like, oh, I fucking can't be arsed. But it's like, you know, and they said that the other days it really matters. You got to force yourself to keep going, to just fucking crack on. And it's like, and one other thing I think is like really important, it's like believing in yourself, bro. And it's like, when I was a kid, I don't know what went on in my brain, but I always fucking come back to this one thing. And I used to think about Richard Branson, bro. And I was like, man has, and they teach you his fucking story in school, mate. Like, he starts off with one shop and now he's a fucking billionaire. And man's dyslexic. He started off at 16 years old, and people might say, oh yeah, he's fucking dyslexic, his brain works differently, but there's many other man who's done all this shit who's just totally fucking normal. And like, he went from nothing to $1 billion. And I always used to just reflect back on myself, and I'd be thinking to myself, like, why can't I be him? What is difference? What is the literal difference between me and him? There is no difference. The only difference is the people who believe in themselves and the people who don't, and the people who are willing to never fucking give up. That is the only difference. And you just got to decide that that's your life, and like, that's the way you want to go.
If you're not going to believe in yourself, then who will?
Exactly.
Like, if you're not going to have the self-belief and the self-determination to, you know what, this is going to work, then no one else is going to take you seriously. And it's like, you're not going to be able to get anywhere thinking, oh, you know what, this isn't going to work. And I've always people, you know, I've always got people message it, like sending me DMs and stuff like this, like, oh, like, I'm scared it won't work. And I'm like, okay, well, you're 17, 18. If it doesn't work, then, bro, you've still got your whole life ahead of you. Like, I'm young as fuck and 19. I could have taken L's for the past 2 years and had major setbacks and had major failures. And I'm still 19. I've got my whole life ahead of me.
Like you sat in this podcast and obviously you talked about some business wins. But obviously, along the road, you must have set up a few stores and they've not worked out.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like coming back to the brand thing, you're saying your fucking Facebook got banned, bro. Yeah. You literally got fucked. Like everything that was going well for you in your life just crumbled away instantly.
Straight away, so you're getting into business. Gone.
It's just about having that perseverance to get past that. And it's like that self-belief and is like, there's no room in your mind to think, oh, I'm like, this is going to fail. Because it's like, if you think that, then there's something in the back of your brain always going to be telling you like, this isn't going to work. Mm-hmm. And if you have that, and I know it's hard for, it's okay for me to sit here and go, oh, have this and have that. But it is a mindset that you just have to, it comes over time. It's not just going to come, like I remember when I was sat 16, I'm like having some sort of doubts before I made the clothing brand. I was like, is this really going to work? But that's when you really have to be like, this is going to work. Mm-hmm. Because those are the moments where it really matters. And I always tell to people, I always say this saying, it's like, if this Atomic Habits, one of the best books I've ever read. And in there, it says this quote, like 1% better every day. And it's like, each day, as long as you're doing something that is getting you in the right direction, you're gonna become better in that specific thing. And it's building momentum over time. And there's like that saying where it's like, you know, when you double 1 pence over a certain time, it's that momentum that builds up. If you're doing momentum that compounds, momentum is the biggest killer for anything related to business. Yeah. When you have momentum and you're in the zone, you just feel like you could do any work and just absolutely smash it out. And it's those days where it's like, you're not going to go to the gym tomorrow and notice change. You're not going to go to the gym for a week and notice change. You might not even go to the gym for a month and notice change, but it's that consistency and that perseverance and you know, putting the work in consistently 1% better each day, going to the gym. That's when you make change over a certain 100%. Amount of time. And there's a bit about good habits and bad habits. It's easy to make a bad habit and it's hard to make a good habit. So it's easy to make a bad habit of sitting and scrolling on your TikTok, and it's hard to get out of that. But it's hard to make a good habit and go to the gym for 5 days a week. As soon as that one day that you don't go, or 2 days, it's then easy to then just fall back into you know what, I'm just going to go tomorrow. And it's that thing of it's
the I'll do it tomorrow attitude's the worst.
Exactly. And it's that thing of just being the days where you don't want to go, that's when, you know, I've said it so many times already, but that is when, you know, growth is seriously made. That day that you don't want to go to the gym, that day that you wake up and, oh, I'm not going to go on that run today. It's like those is when it's really counts. And it's just being disciplined within yourself to be like, you need to get up and do this. You need to get up and do that. And it's that's just the way that you have to be. You just have to have a killer mindset. It's kill or be killed in this world, unfortunately. And you just have to go out and get it.
I wanted to we went out last night and obviously I seen that you didn't drink.
Yeah.
And obviously there was something that swapped that. 'Cause you used to drink, didn't you? What was that thing that just made you swap? That's
a very good question. So yeah, this is just going to be full transparency here then, right? I move into my own apartment, turn 18.
This is Manchester, right?
Manchester, Deansgate Square. Fucking, you know what the Deansgate Square is like. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, it's very Love Island-y, influencers everywhere, fucking never sleeps. It is very active.
It's like your perfect Instagram stories.
Yeah,
like everybody
exactly.
Likes.
So that's what put me off going there first.
For an 18, like just imagine an 18-year-old boy fresh on the scene. That just, I come from a tiny town where there's no one famous there. There's no one that's really, you know what I mean? Yeah. To then go to there, to like my mind just being fucking blown by everything.
Yeah.
So we sort of like straight away pretty much fell in the trap when we moved of like going out, getting to clubs. Like,
but these ain't normal clubs though. Like big.
No, these were like, you know, like Club Live, China White, all of that shit.
Are you spending money there? It's not like you're going for drinks at the bar.
Yeah, so our group, at first I was like, nah, like what the fuck? And then obviously now it's a bit different. Like now I'll go to the club and buy bottles or whatever. But at the time, it was more like my group that was like spending, and I was just like, I'll just come along with you boys, because they were just, oh, do you want to come along? I was like, yeah, fuck it. But to me, at the time, I was like, why? Like, at the time, I didn't understand, like, why would you buy bottles? But now, even though it's still stupid, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
in essence, I'll still do it. And even though I sit here and say it's stupid, it is a bit of a, like, once you're in there, it's a very, you know, like, it's a dick swinging, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what it's like. And we were going to like these big clubs, and I was just like fucking left, right and centre, seeing famous people, you know, even like going to Alderley Edge and going to the likes of Pereira and shit like that, seeing footballers in there that I probably shouldn't name because they shouldn't be out there drinking and stuff like that, because obviously they're footballers and shit, but just seeing them there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I'm like not used to that life, and I'm a big football fan as well. And I'm like going to like Ivy Asia, and sat across the table from me is fucking Bernardo Silva and Riyad Mahrez, and them like just sat on the table right next to me, and I'm just there like
feeling like a big dog.
This is a different.
You get thrown in at the deep end.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's like it's. I've gone from a small town to a city centre full of famous people, and it's just like, it is very normal to me now, but at the time I was like, holy shit. So we were like sort of falling in the trap of like, oh, let's just go out tonight. Oh, fuck it. Like, let's just go enjoy it. So it was just like quite a lot. We were going out clubbing and stuff like that. And then I got to a point where obviously I was, you know, we were all getting drunk all the time and stuff like that. And then I got to a point where I was like, not many people know this. I got really, really, really ill this time last year, where I had to go home back to my parents, where I don't know what it was. I don't know whether, I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist here, but I don't know whether it's because I caught COVID and it like proper reacted really weird with my body.
Yeah.
But bro, I've never experienced anything like it. I was having like the worst headaches ever, spinning all the time. I couldn't do any work at all.
Mad.
And I had to do brain scans and shit like that. I was literally like, couldn't get out of my bed for a whole month, right? And that was after the period of drinking loads. Yeah. And I tied it to that, and I was like, there is no way. It was sort of like one out of fear of like, if I drink again, what if that shit comes back?
Fat come down.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
oh,
fuck. Like maybe something to do.
Might
have been something to do with like dopamine receptors, where I've just been fresh. I've gone from a small little village that's like very plain boring to like boom, 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 fast life. Yeah. And it's like, one thing I would say, it is a good thing moving out, but also be wary of you know, try not to fall into a trap, and the self-realization. I got to a point where I sort of realized of like, oh shit, like this isn't good for obviously working on stores and stuff like that. So we moved, and then that was just happening. And then I got to a point where I was like really ill, and I just said, I was like, I'm not drinking again. I was like, fuck that.
Never drank since.
And then I haven't drank for probably around about exactly a year. Yeah. Probably the best thing I've ever done. Honestly, like not waking up in the morning feeling like shit, not, you know, spending a shit ton of money on alcohol all the time. And, you know, and realistically, the way I look at it is alcohol is just a very social norm for it to be normal. And when I tell people that I don't drink, everyone's like, especially in my old ends, everyone's like, what the are you boring, lad? Like, why don't you drink? Like,
and it's a very like, I don't know, it's like opposite stereotype.
Yeah, and the way that I look at it, it's like, and this might be very controversial, but the way that I look at it is like, I can have just as perfect as a time without drinking, and I might come across boring here, but why do I need to drink to make myself feel better in a sense of like, it is like a drug at the end of the day that's going to make you feel better and stuff. And I was like, realistically, I don't want to be putting that in my body. I come to a point where I don't want to be putting in that body. And maybe I might come to a point where, you know, like the old 1 or 2, but like we were just getting like, I was just getting like really drunk all the time. And like not like that, fucking hell. Like, but we were just going out.
Cranking beers.
Not like that. But we were just going out to clubs and like just all like, and it's just not good. It's not healthy. It's not good. And it's not good it's not a good routine to have. It kills your routine. You're waking up. It's a massive demotivator, because I don't know the exact, you know, chemicals, but it's like a it's like a depressant.
Yeah, it's a depressant.
So it's like it's that, and then the next morning you just feel like shit, and then it's like you've woken up at 4 p.m, 5 p.m, you've gone to the club. gone to sleep at 5 a.m. You're waking up at, and this was in the times when it was like getting dark early.
Yeah.
So I was waking up to the darkness, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Was
and
it
then
before or after you got like your first big like amount, like your first big hit?
Yeah.
So this was before or after?
After.
So do you think like, well, you say that before, you mean like what is like 30 grand?
It just goes back to what I was saying before. It was just comfortability. I was just comfortable.
But you think like that, like
it's like
the
a blowout.
money, the money combined with like going out all the time, did that like have a massive impact on your work?
Yeah,
like,
bro, without a doubt, massive, massive. And then so I was like, we come to the end of our tenancy, and we both decided we were like, we're just gonna move back, but we're gonna move back to our parents. And I'll sit here and say, you know what I mean? Some people might think, it wasn't a case of, we've ran out of money or anything like that. Like we still easily could have renewed. It was a case of like, we just didn't have a healthy style of living there. Yeah. And then, bro, when we moved back, I moved back, and then, I don't know if I can say this in the pod.
If I can say it, and we'll cut it out.
Fuck it. Yeah. So I moved back, right? And this was the best thing ever happened to me. And you can add it in or not, I don't care. Coming out of a club and just fucking walking down an alleyway, some guy just smacks me from behind, right? And when I moved back, I was still like trying to go to clubs and shit. Yeah. Basically, this guy, long story short, I'm not going to get into it, but he just comes running up behind me, smacks me from behind. From that day onwards, it's like them things when I was saying, when you're at your sort of lowest points, and when, like I said about when I broke up with that girlfriend of 4 years, when I've been at my lowest points, that's when I've made the most money ever. And it's when I've had the most creativeness, it's because I've been that low that there's nowhere else that you can go but up. Yeah. It's like, if you get to a low point and there's nowhere you can go but up. And I was at a point where I was like, fuck this, I'm not going out anymore. I'm not going to the clubs. I'm going to get tuned in. Like it was a wake up call. Yeah. The best thing that ever happened to me. And I know that sounds weird, like getting punched from behind, like the best thing that ever happened. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. So if the guy's watching, I appreciate you so much. Like honestly, you don't even understand. It's made me so much money. Because I then went home and I was just locked in. I was like, I was fueling that anger. And it's like I was saying to you guys yesterday, basic physics. Energy is not created or destroyed, it's transferred. So I used that anger and transferred that into motivation to be like, yeah, I'm just fucking on the ball now. Yeah. And I was just like bang, 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 doing shit like this, working with big YouTubers. And we'll get onto that. But yeah, I got to a point where I was just locked in, working all the time, putting up stores, making loads of money, getting loads of sales. And then for, January, February time, I went on a pod, 4-4 pod. Those are my boys. I love them to death. And when I went on that, people's reaction to it was insane. I was just getting stupid amounts of DMs on the daily, like this and that. And then it just came to the realization, like, oh fuck, like there's something here. And then I was like, I always wanted to make it. This is actually a fun fact. I remember being sat with my best mate from home we're picking up food. And this is at the time that you boys didn't know me. And I was sat there like, these CCM boys are fucking like, are you seeing this shit? Like, they've got mad like MR, like, you know what I mean? I was just like, fucking hell. And then it was at the time when you were doing the NFT stuff as well. Yeah. And I was like, these lads are killing it.
Long ago now. Was this January, February time?
Yeah, it was January, February time. And then it was like, I found like Jack Bayless's group, and I found like some other groups, and I was like, oh shit, this Discord shit is fucking, like, it is pretty sick. And it's just sick in general to have a community where you can, like, you're actually building a name for yourself. Like, people, like, bro, I'll scroll on my TikTok comments now, and I'll just see like castle emojis. Just if people don't know, my Discord's called the Organic Palace, and we'll get onto that in a bit. But just got shit tons of castle emojis, and you scroll on, bro. People have got castle emojis in their bios on Instagram and shit.
I've seen this.
And I was just like,
on Twitter and shit.
I was like, that makes me feel more than any 10K day could do for me. Yeah, that makes me.
It's like seeing your clothing on someone from first time.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's like seeing that. I'm like, holy shit! I'm actually having a positive impact on people's lives here. That I'm like, that makes me feel more than any sort of sales that I could get from ecom. So we shifted, February, March. start doing stores. Ran up some stores, you know, did some numbers, like just loads of stores. There's no specific store that did, you know, with organic. It's like sort of like a pump and dump. You pump a product on organic, it goes viral, then you move on to the next.
Yep.
So, you know, we were doing like 3K days here and there. We were doing 8K days here and there with different types of products. And some of them are still running, so I can't really mention them. One that I can mention was the one last year. It was at SendGun. That was the one that did the 30 million views. At My Pro Laser.
I feel like I've heard of that second one.
Yeah.
At My Pro Laser.
Yeah.
I'd seen the Sengun, and it was definitely because, like you mentioned yesterday, it was from, like,
Is the one that
Nelk.
fires the bottle cap or
Yeah.
fires the actual beer?
It fires the actual beer.
Oh, yeah.
And there was the cap gun as well. We did cap gun as well. And in total, across TikTok platforms, I've probably done over 100 million views, maybe.
Yep.
At least 70 million views. It was 70 million views when I went on the last poddy, but I don't know exactly now. I think it'd be around about 85, 90 million
And like,
views.
you didn't pay for any of that realistically.
I didn't
and that's
pay
the
for
most
any-
insane thing about
and
organic.
it goes back to the obviously beautiful topic, but Tate, obviously he's taken that platform like crazy, and he's not paid for a single ad. It's
way.
all organic, and people obviously don't realize that, but he's obviously, you know, not to get into it too much, but he's got people posting loads of content for him. That's sort of what we do, but for products and blowing them up and, you know, converting that into sales and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what I was doing. There's some other things where I did some deals with big YouTubers. I don't think I can say the name because I don't know whether it's binded in that I can't talk about it. But he is fucking blowing up right now.
Yeah, I know you're on
was
about,
telling
but
you
he
boys
is
about it.
blowing up right now.
Blowing up all over TikTok.
We'd actually spoke about him this week, to be honest.
Yeah. He's fucking taken over. And he, we did a merch drop. And yeah, I can't obviously go into numbers, but it was fucking mad. Like in an hour, it was more, I can say it was more than what we did with SendGun in the 2-3 days in an hour. And it was just fucked. And I was just sat there like, it was a drop. It was perfect as well. It was a drop at midnight. So I was just sat there like nervous as fuck. Bro, the notification, it was just like ping, 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 ping. I was just like, fucking hell. I was just sat watching the global map of just like, obviously on ecom, you can see when people purchase and it was just lighting up like crazy, like fucking LEDs. And yeah, that was mad. That was another thing.
What's the maddest website traffic you've ever seen? You don't have to say obviously what stuff. What's the maddest
Sessions in
live
a day.
views?
All that live views.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I've seen some
70,000 in a day.
That's a lot, bro.
70,000 sessions in a day.
Do you ever used to watch it when like Nelk used to do the drops back in the day? They always used to like video it.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I was just sat there, planned it, ready. Obviously, it was midnight, so I was just back in my ends. I was just on my own. I was on FaceTime to my boy that I actually did the store with. So I'm not gonna take full credit of it. I did the store with. I actually became friends with the guys, with the YouTubers. Sort of like, what's it called? Like, he works for him, and we became friends from him actually joining the. He messaged me after he saw me on the podcast and was like, yo, like, let's do something together. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. Sweet. Let's just do it. And then it happened. And I'm always, I never like to stay, don't get me wrong. I love to build, you know, and be consistent with one specific thing. Like, you know, but always in one specific niche. That's how I sort of stick to it. I'm always going to do stuff within e-com and dropshipping, but I'm never going to limit myself to just doing, you know, blowing up because realistically, you're never going to grow from that. You're never going to progress from that. So you just got to try. I was just at a point in that time after obviously that incident where I was just I was just so motivated that I was just using it to be, bro, everything. I'll just, whatever I need to do, I'm there. Like, and it was just a case of doing all of that. And it was just the best thing best decision I ever made moving back with my parents, honestly, because I was just so focused then, getting loads of work done, etc. Then we get on to April after the podcast. I make this Discord.
How come you decided to make the Discord? Like,
so as I was saying, honestly, sole inspiration was you boys. There's some guy in America that does an ecom one, and there's a guy called Soldier. One of the boys in my group was also doing it.
Had you used Discord personally before?
Bro, never.
Was it hard to understand? Right, when you first like?
Yeah, bro, because I didn't know how to set up anything. And we'll get onto it. I just honestly just set up basic channels.
Yeah.
Just like specific things. Got some guy that messaged me and was like, I want to learn, like, I'm willing to pay you and stuff like that. I was like, sweet. He's now one of my mods and one of my really good friends. And he when I tell you he had no prior knowledge to anything at all. He did like Amazon FBM, whatever, something like that. And he was just like struggling with it in America. He's from America. Bro, when I tell you he joined and he had no prior knowledge, we were working together. First month he did like 20K in sales. First, like, off of everything. Yeah. And bro, I remember I was on a holiday in Portugal and he was messaging me like, bro, like, I love you. Like, oh my God, you fucking, like, look at this. Like, I'm doing sales. And it was a product that I literally gave him to run.
You literally changed that guy's life though.
I know, bro. And now he's like consistently doing like this week he did 11K in a week. Mad. And now he's just on it, bro. I love that guy. His name's Luca. He's one of my mods now. And I've got so much respect for him because he's very, very driven.
Organic drop shipping, like, what actually is that but in like a short farm? So someone that doesn't actually know like what is a short farm that?
Basically, organic dropshipping is the best way for anyone that's just starting out to get into the world of dropshipping, as opposed to having to pay for ads and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically utilizing virality of you know, short form content like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, all of that stuff. Utilizing those to, you know, post consistently. Obviously, there's loads more to it, to, you know, getting the right product, to building the website and all of that stuff. But in short form, it's blowing up videos to go viral to then convert into sales without having to pay for ads or anything. The only thing you're paying for is the cost of the good. So the margins are really good, around, you know, 50-60%. So it's pretty sweet.
So will like you be buying that? So like when somebody like does the first product, will they be buying like, you know, will they be buying like $5,000 worth of a product? Like what does like the usual fucking script go like?
So so cause obviously it's like because it's drop shipping. It's all done through like a supplier in China, private supplier. They're attached to the Shopify.
Okay, got it.
Where they send out all the orders to each individual customer.
Yeah.
They deal with, you know, the tracking, all of that stuff. They'll send them out. They invoice you. You pay for the invoice. And then, people just blow up and you'll have like redirections of like TikTok link. You have like a link to your website in your Insta bio, or you have the link to the website in your TikTok bio. Redirect the traffic with CTAs, all of that stuff. There's loads of different things to it, like pinning comments and all of that stuff. Redirecting them to the website. Obviously making sure your website's got a good conversion rate, making sure the website's all up to scratch. It looks good. And then, just converting the sales from going viral into purchases and into sales, basically, without having to pay for ads. And it's a good way for people that, you know, they've only got, let's say people only want to risk £100-200 to get started.
So is that all you need to start like your first store?
That's maximum.
Well, it doesn't work. You've not got nothing to pay, have you?
No,
you can use
you
like
have to pay
like
Shopify plan. Right, Shopify plan.
3 months free or whatever it is. Yeah.
We've got a 4-month free trial in our Discord. We've got, you know, domain, £10. You got the product, which is 20. If it doesn't work, refund it back to Amazon, ship it back.
Yeah.
You've got that's 30 quid there. Do you know what I mean? The only thing else you're really paying
time.
for is
that is literally it.
It's just your time. That is what it is. It's time. It's the time that you put into it, as opposed to with ads. It's more about like what budget you put in.
Yeah, I was thinking like you said you did like 100 million views now. Imagine you spent 100 million
How much
views
it costs for 100 million views?
Yeah.
Fucking
ads can go
holy
wrong too.
fuck.
Ads can go wrong.
Yeah,
we know you can spend. You can spend bags and bags and bags on ads and get nothing from it, and that money's gone.
Well, ads is totally different from like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
to now.
I know people that spent like $5,000 testing products, and it's just $5,000 on the drain.
Do you know anyone that's running big ads right now?
Yeah, loads of people.
On Facebook?
And what are they running them on?
Facebook, TikTok.
Do you think Facebook ads still working?
Yeah.
What products? Do you know what products they're running? Like clothing and shit?
Nah, bro. One of my boys is literally dropshipping products on Facebook and TikTok.
And does he do organic as well?
Nah.
Just no
ads,
organic?
Just ads. Bro, everyone does ads. TikTok ads. Yeah. Everyone in the e-com game does ads. That's why organic was such a fresh, that's why no one knows. Everyone comes into our Discord thinking that it's ads.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that you can do organic, blowing up products and making them go viral and then converting sales without having to spend fucking $1,000 to $2,000. like some guy was coming in and they were like, oh, I was in Hustlers University, and they like, oh, I've got to have at least $3,000 if I want to start. And I'm like, bro, like,
have you been in it? Have you been in Hustlers University?
Nah, I've not. But I was like, bro, like I literally, when I did Sengun, spent £50, bro. Like it's silly, bro.
£50 to 70 grand.
It's silly, and it's just the ability to go viral. It's just the ability. It's obviously there's a lot to it, and it sounds like I'm not saying it's easy at all. You have to be able to get the right product nailed down. You have to be able to know how to make videos. You have to be able to know how to build an effective website that will convert into sales. You have to be able to deal with private suppliers. You have to be able to deal with customers, customer support, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm saying is basically all in the Discord.
Yeah,
all
like
in the Discord that I run now. It's just all in there.
Yeah.
We do product drops where we drop in a winner product in there. The amount of money that's made people is stupid. Like, as I was saying, there was some girl that joined, and she made, like, I dropped the product in because it was like a female product. She made like, I think it was like 6-7K a day, and she'd never done dropshipping before. She had like experience within, you know, making videos and shit, because she's like sort of like an influencer. She'd never done dropshipping before. Yeah. And I dropped the product in the product drops, and it's actually, people are going to be listening to this is going to get clipped, and people are going to be like, oh, fuck off. It's not, but it's like, it actually is actually mad. Like how, not easy, but it's like just one viral video could make you $4,000.
It's like you'll know when I talk about Marnie, when we spoke to her.
Yeah.
She had like a TikTok store for like jewelry and whatnot, and she was saying like it was going pretty slow. Like she didn't get many sales, and then
she did a trend video.
Overnight, she did like a trend video, and it just blew up. And she literally like,
it's mad.
A whole store sold out, and she didn't like,
everything. And then she was on backlog. And she just made silly.
That was only like
still like
20K. Milo, wasn't it?
Yeah, she got like 2-3 mil, and then it turned into like just like 20K overnight. Woke up, like it's mad how there's life changing events. It's just the fucking power of TikTok and Instagram Reels and the short form content is the most fucking goated fucking thing out there. And if you're out there doing business and you're not thinking about TikTok, you're not thinking about making content, you're not thinking about uploading on YouTube Shorts, Reels, TikTok, you are fucking blind. Gary Vee's been saying this shit for 2 years. I watched hundreds of Gary Vee videos before we started making TikToks, and after I made it, it blown up. I was like, what the I was pissed off that I've been missing out on it for that fucking long. Yeah, people that
I just can't saying it.
He has been saying it
for years, bro. He's been like just piping on.
4 or 5 years ago, I remember him
bro,
saying it.
It's
like,
insane.
Make a 2-hour YouTube video and you can turn that into fucking 30
videos.
And
like everybody
that's what you guys do really, really well. It's
Yeah.
like you guys will chop up all the content that you get on a podcast or in a YouTube video that you make, turn it into a TikTok, and it's like honestly crazy. That,
well, let's just say that you put that on
people just overlook it. People are just like, why would I need to? People are like, oh, TikTok, that's just fucking for kids. It is not.
That was
my fucking view. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
it was like an embarrassment. It was like, oh, you're on like TikTok there. Like it was like Vine.
Yeah, all my mates were loving it, using it.
And you were going to school and people were like, why have you got TikTok?
But now it's just like, it's bigger than Instagram, so.
It's not even a question. It's fucking massive, mate. And I love TikTok, I'm not gonna lie.
Literally, it's amazing. And it's like,
the algorithm's so good though, that's the
and it's like comes up, that's what I was going to get onto. And people are thinking like, wow, why is Instagram not as good as TikTok? It's because TikTok, I've been like, I watched a video on it the other day, and that TikTok's been going for way longer. They fine-tuned that TikTok fucking algorithm is godly.
It's
like,
almost fucked.
It's borderline scary.
I would say I even know people that have done a fucking 4K day from Instagram Reels.
Yeah,
but what they've done is they've made the TikToks and then they've used, this is a little bit of source here, they've used snaptik.app to download the TikTok without the watermark, reposted, just absolutely shit posted on Instagram Reels, just as many Reels as you can. And then a video's just gone viral. This is Luca. Yeah. He did really well with Reels. He got like 10 million views on one of his videos. Yeah. He was having like consistent 2K days over like a week.
Yeah.
And it was just like those consistent days of where, and I was just like, oh shit, this is actually, and then just like utilizing the YouTube Shorts and the Instagram Reels and the TikTok, utilizing short form content is so overlooked. But I feel like people are starting to realize, like, I remember seeing like Represent and the likes of like Reese Wabar and stuff, and they were looking like 6-7 months ago, they were looking for people to hire that were good at making TikToks, and anyone that's good at making TikToks that are like in-house and stuff like that. And just people were starting to clock on that the voice, like building a voice and a face and a channel on TikTok is not even, obviously with a dropshipping it's a bit different because you're not really building a brand.
Yeah.
But even with brand building and like personal brand and stuff like that, it is better than any form of content.
People lying to people much easier.
Better than Instagram, better than Facebook. It is like what Instagram used to be.
Yeah,
fucking
it is.
5-6 years ago.
But the thing is, there's nothing like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. If you, let's just say you had a page with 5k followers on Instagram, you put that exact same thing on your Instagram story, like everyone used to 2 years ago to get some sales. You can only reach maximum 5k people. Like maximum, unless it gets a few sends or whatever. But like TikTok, those 3 platforms that I just mentioned, like it can hit millions of people.
That's why the sort of influencer game sort of died out a little bit.
Does.
Just because people have started to realise, I'll just fucking post a TikTok and have.
You don't
I won't
need
pay for it.
Hundreds of thousands of followers.
I'll have the same. I'll pay for an influencer. Like, bro.
I think influencers just tainted it because you know they're getting paid. Bro, that stops you from like.
Yeah,
nobody needs that.
You know they're getting paid to show this.
I think that killed it. At least in the past,
the organic influencer marketing thing is dead now. Like you're getting paid for that. Shut up. Like, you're not just using that fucking product and dropping the name.
Teeth whitening and that.
Oh shit!
That was
like proper Love Island shit.
Yeah. Like you could start a clothing brand, give your clothes to fucking someone in Geordie Shore, and it would do numbers.
Boom.
Like, who's the guy that did it? Is it Hera? He's a brand.
He's huge.
And he gave his t-shirt to I remember listening to this podcast. He gave his t-shirt to like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And it was like. Then, obviously, Conor McGregor's a little bit different, but like when he was like giving it to Geordie Shore people and stuff like that, it was just doing numbers. Like he would give it to like Gaz in Geordie Shore, just wear the jeans out, and it's Hera, and it was just doing But now that's just like not like it doesn't have the same effect.
I feel like it would work still and stuff like that.
I think
I actually think it works.
It's come down to a saturation thing. I think
what doesn't work is when people are like, go sign up or
but
go buy
I've paid influencers to like the people that have like when I was doing clothing brands. That had like 500k followers to like, yo, can you wear? And bro, no sales.
Is that their niche though?
Yeah, fashion niche, known for having like drippy like, and they're just can you tag it and stuff like that? Like 1 or 2 sales, just followers, just 1 or 2 sales, and I don't know. It's just I think like TikTok is just now the way forward of.
It's more of a natural sale, isn't it? It's more of a natural sale.
It's more about the time that you put into it. It's more about the time that you actually
like the information that you give out. It's like, and this is what Gary Vee preaches a lot. He like says like, and I think this is like a tribute to his success in that. He's like, he just fucking gives out he tries to give out more information than he's like fucking taking in. You know, like everything he knows, he's fucking like he's banging on about. He's saying he's been saying for years, make fucking TikToks, do it.
When he was like NFTs,
he's banging on about it. But he's been doing that shit for years. Like it's like he even even uploaded the TikTok the other day and it was fucking sick. And it was like he was on the news and he was on about Blackberries and he's like this fucking iOS app culture, mate, it's gonna knock Blackberry off. I'm predicting that Blackberry's going bust. Like 2 years later, Blackberry's fucked it, mate. Like insane. And it's just like you just gotta listen to people out there. And I'm just pissed off. I'm even pissed off because you know what I mean. Like every L is a lesson. Like but like
definitely.
People fucking
TikTok will last a while.
I think it'll be like Snapchat, mate.
I think it will.
It's just like that.
For at least another 2.
Oh yeah, at least.
Yeah, I reckon so. But it's like what Gary Vee says as well. Like
it's because they've nailed it on the head. They know that people, as humans, we are naturally very lazy, and that the reason why we wouldn't sit and watch, obviously people still do, but like people would rather scroll on TikTok than sit and watch an hour-long video because it's like. Instant dopamine, instant gratification. Not gratification. It's like instant gratification.
You're instantly getting
instant dopamine receptors.
Yeah.
It's like, like, that was funny.
But like
that was funny.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like
you watch like an hour.
It goes back to that comfortability thing. Like it's just comfortable. 15 seconds comfortable. 15 seconds comfortable.
But it's like if you watch like an hour-long video, you're only watching it for like you're watching boring parts. Because you know that there's going to be a good part somewhere. Yeah. That's why you watch it. That's why you watch it.
People will now watch a movie and sit on TikTok as well. Like fucking insane.
Well. That's that weird. I don't get that.
I've done that. I do that.
I'll agree. I've fucking done that.
See,
I don't know why.
Double the bandwidth.
That's what I've been saying this for time, bro. The way I see it, bro,
loving this one.
is like people are addicted to data, bro. And it's like when you see these like dual videos, mate. It's like one video at the top of someone fucking chatting shit. Yeah. People are just addicted to data. They just want to. Yeah, you do because you're watching. Yeah, you're watching some shit, and then you're also like listening to someone who's chatting good shit. It's just endless fucking pure data, mate.
Yeah, it is fucking mental.
It's the same thing with like. I don't know, when you're like Shopify sales and shit like that, when you're just seeing that ping, 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 it's like that dopamine hit that you're like,
oh yeah.
God,
the Shopify
it's the
noise.
same with TikTok, the dopamine, and that's why Vine did well. It was a sort of the ability to just watch so much different things, and it's like like that all over, and it's just got you immersed in it.
There's been nothing like it, lad. Like you said, lad, you watch an hour-long video, you know, fucking 90% of it's a load of boring, but you're watching it waiting for this good part. But like you said, TikTok is just, and the algorithm's so on point, mate. It's just good video after good video after good video.
Sweet spot in every video.
Like the Sidemen, they've nailed it on the head as well, where they'll just get, you know, the videos from their best videos, break them down, put them on, and those will do numbers because people love those best bits. Yeah. And then that will just entice them to watch the full video.
It's like highlights of all the best shit.
Exactly,
and yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah.
People are living in this world. It's like Amazon culture, lad. It's like, you know, people just want, they just want fucking everything.
Straight to their door.
Yeah, they just want it straight into the brain, mate, and that's just what
that is basically what all of the people that have done so well, they've find ways of how to reduce the amount of time that it takes for a person to carry out that task. 100%. So it's like TikTok, you know, instant gratification from watching a 6-second video. Amazon, straight to your door. Oh, don't have to go into town to buy it. You don't have to go to Selfridges to get it. No. You know, Amazon straight to your door. And like other things, like there's probably other examples, but it's just like that is how the most successful companies like they've reduced the amount that a human has to like carry out a workload to get something, which is like why they've done so well, because naturally, as I said, naturally humans are lazy, and it's just like we want like for example, Deliveroo straight to your door, or Netflix straight in front of you. Oh fuck, walk into the cinema and watch it. I'll just watch it from the comfort of my 100%. Home. And it goes back to that thing where I said at the start about comfortability. We love to be comfortable, and that's why all these things just keeps us comfortable. Yeah. And that's why they've done so well, because it's like, oh fucking, I'm so hungry right now. Ordered. 20 minutes later, you've got food. It's crazy.
It's like order that and then straight back on TikTok.
But that's just how the world. That's just how the world is now.
It's the fucking new world, bro. And like you said, lad, it's basic. It's just basic physics. That's the way I see it, lad. It's just all like a logic game, bro.
It is crazy.
Ease of use.
It is mad.
But fucking
I think that's fucking
wrap it up.
Yeah, nice way to end.
A while there,
literally.
How long's that? Like an hour 20?
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes probably.
It's been a pleasure, boys.
Massively appreciate you coming on.
It's an inspiring story, bro. Like this has been it's an inspiring story, bro. And everybody's listening, and I hope people are watching this, lad, and you're listening to this should make you fucking change your mindset. You know, we're all young lads here.
Yeah, like, only 19.
Only 19. So
literally.
It's not even like
just fucking, just believe in yourself. That's all I can say to everybody watching that. Just fucking believe in yourself. Take action and just fucking get out there and fucking do it.
What I'll say is, one good year can change your life forever. One good year can put you ahead for 5 years. But like I said, I'm sat here and spoke about everything I've done. You're forgetting I've been doing this for a year and a little bit, right? And I've done like all these different little things. I've been doing this for a year and a little bit. And the thing is, and the main piece of advice that I would give to everyone is just take action. Get your foot in the door. And everyone's always like, oh, what's the best piece of advice? Like they're always like, oh, what's the best piece of advice for dropshipping? The best piece of advice that I could give for general life is get your foot in the door and just get cracking with it, because as soon as you get on the hamster wheel, you'll just start rolling and it'll become normal to you. And I have this conversation all the time with people that have, before they were like, oh, like I don't know what to do. Like my mods that are now in the cycle, that they're just loving it. They're always just like constant, like they've just started. The best piece of advice I could say is start, because you're either going to do it or watch it be done. I said that before. You're going to do it or watch it be done. And, you know, I would rather, you know, strive for success and greatness than sit around and just watch everyone else and be like, oh, fuck them. Like they've had it easy, or you just got lucky or stuff like that. And I'll link back to, with sort of motivation and stuff like that, I've actually got in my notes this really, really long notes that when I'm having a down day, I'll open it up. And I have a very, very close relationship with my mum, and I'm very, my whole motivation is to just give back to all I care about really is, you know, all of that bollocks of nice clothes and all of that shit. That doesn't mean much to me, but it's the giving back to my mum, or giving back to my parents, giving back to my dad for everything that they've done for me. I've got in the notes like, you should be angry because of this. Like, oh, like I didn't have the best. Like people always like, oh, daddy's money, but like, bro, my mum and dad are just like hardworking, working class people. That, you know, we've had times, and I'm sure my mum wouldn't mind, like where we've, you know, struggled with this or struggled with that, and I written that down in my thing where I'm like, if I've had an off day and I'm feeling shit, I'll go to it and be like, be mad because you've still not done this for your mum. And I use that as motivation to get fueled up. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm going to go even harder. Like, I'm 19 and people are going to be sat here thinking, oh, well done. Like, I always get people messaging me like, you've done so much, and I've barely even scratched the surface, bro. Like I look up to you guys and think, fucking hell, you guys have done loads, and you guys probably look up to the likes of Reese Wabara, Reese Wabara. Yeah, like there's always someone who's better than you. Yeah. There's always someone faster than you. There's always someone to get inspired by and take motivation to just go harder. And I would leave it on the note of just get your foot in the door, take action, and just stop thinking, oh, I'm going to do this when I finish.
Just fucking do it.
I'm going to do this at the end of my summer. I'm going to just do it now. Don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it at the end of the week. Don't do it in the next hour. Do it right now as you have that. Just do something that gets you onto the hamster wheel. And once you do something that's 1% better each day, you'll find yourself having the momentum of every single day. You're just doing something and you're on the ball. And you're just going to be better than where you started. There's no, like, even if you got into this scene and spent a month of taking L's, you're still better off. You're still in a better off position than you was a month ago because you've started to gain experience and started to sort of dip your foot in the pond and see, oh, like, okay, well, I won't do that next time. I won't do that next time. The key thing is to just start. Like that is the best thing that you can do for anyone, anyone. Even if you're sat there doing sixth form and you're thinking, oh, fuck. And I know I said, oh, you can't really dedicate an hour, but even if that's the bare minimum that you can do, just dedicate something. Something's
better than nothing at the end of the day.
Just so you're actually doing something, as opposed to not being proactive and just sitting there and being like, oh, I'm gonna do it like, oh, when I finish my A-levels, or
procrastination.
I'm gonna do it like when I've got time off of uni, or I'm gonna do it this time. Just do it now. That's what I would. That's the best piece of advice.
You know what's funny about that, bro? The biggest brand in the world, their slogan is "Just Do It." Nike's slogan is "Just Do It." It's right under everyone's fucking noses, bro. And when I had that realization about like the "Just Do It" thing, lad, and I used to say it to people all the time, I was like, you know what's funny, lad? Like the only fucking thing that I can see here that's really mattered is the fact that we've just started and fucking done it. Yeah. And it's under all your fucking noses, but nobody just like look. You're just blind to it.
It's a case of you just take every day as you come. Like, don't think about. And this is what I would say to people: don't think about some massive task, right? Or let's say your goal is 10K, like a 10K day, right? Or let's say your goal is to have a successful Shopify store. I never tell people to look at it like that. I tell them to break it down into individual pieces. Just try to do something, like, even if that's, okay, I'll work on the product. I'll work on the product page today. Tomorrow, I'll work on sorting out the suppliers. The next day, I'll work on posting a few TikToks. It's just the little things that even if you can't do everything, try do something. Try do something at the bare minimum just to get the ball rolling. Because once you get the ball rolling and everything will start to tick into place. And you're probably sat here watching this thinking, oh, like, I want it to tick into place, but it's just take the action and it will come. I promise you. You're probably thinking like, oh, like these guys, like they're at this level and they can say that, but as soon as you just put your foot in the door and get your foot in there, then more doors will open for you to just experience and just pretty much change your life. Like it's crazy that the capability and the at the tip of your finger from your phone of what you can do online and how, like, the amount that you can make and the things that you can do, it's fucking unreal. So yeah, I guess we'll leave it leave it on that.
I'm fired up, bro. I'm fired up.
If no one else is fired up at home watching this, then fucking I don't know.
But yeah, I think we'll end it there.
Yeah, I appreciate you boys.
Thank you, Harvey, lad, for coming on and that, bro. It's been a pleasure. It's an inspiring story, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Thank you, man. Literally.
At HK Vibing on Insta.
Fucking do that shit.
Sweet.
It's been a pleasure, bro. Thank you, HK.
We'll leave it there, boys.